I grew up with all different kinds of phones. I remember in elementary school, I would have just a regular flip phone that didn't have no internet, and then it transitioned to me getting a phone that could actually slide up and I could text easier. And and then the next one that I got was a smartphone, my very first smartphone, but it wasn't an iPhone yet. And then I finally transitioned to the iPhone, which I'm sure that so many people have today, along with the competition of Samsung. And if you think about it, phones have revolutionized everything, and they've evolved to how they are today. And it's amazing to think that. And I just wanted to learn a little bit more about it. And what I learned was that in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell first created the telephone. And at that time, you could only direct call from one location. So the phone would only be able to call where you connected to. And you couldn't just pick up the phone and call anywhere you wanted, just like how we do today. And then by the 1970s, Motorola came out with their first mobile phone. And although Motorola is not really used today, it revolutionized the way that we use phones today, and it kind of paved the way for smartphones on how they evolved. And now, in the early 2000s, Apple released their first iPhone, and now in 2017, it's all the way up to what we have today, the iPhone X, the iPhone 8, and so forth and so forth. And basically, it's all becoming so user friendly. Our phone now can be used like a computer. Like, we don't have to hold a big laptop anymore. We can do everything from our phones, which makes it so much more user friendly, and everything has just become more simple. I remember before when we would all we would all be so happy whenever we would get internet on our phone, but now it's the norm. Everybody has internet on their phone. Everybody has an iPhone, or everybody has some sort of smartphone, and basically, I wanted to learn a little bit more about um, how phones can be negative to how we live our life. And there's actually a study that was held to see how many students out of 470 were addicted to their mobile phones. And according to Warzeka and Katarzyna, around 35% of them were at risk of being addicted, and 4% were actually addicted. And I was reading up on another article, and in the article iMinds, they stated that by using personal clinical observations, studies reveal that excessive use of phones causes a state of arousal that is changing brain functioning and leads to many anxiety disorders, learning, and addiction. And although phones are extremely beneficial and user friendly for us, you never hear about the negative sides to it. And it just goes to show right here that it leads to anxiety disorders and addiction. And when I think about addiction, I think of myself and a lot of people too, because of how we use our cell phones not only for just phones, but we also use it for stuff like social media. And yeah, it's a great way to connect with people, but you get cyberbullying and you get low self-esteem off of that. And I feel like phones has evolved in a great way, but also in a bad way as well.